Hello and welcome to SketchQuest. We here at TYG have collected some of the most talented artists within our reach to create this series as we work towards improving our artistic skills. Come join us and begin your journey today. Your legend starts here. But before we can paint for the gods, it's time to start with some basics. And don't worry if you're only just starting out, because I'll be learning alongside you. And remember, if you want to share your creations with us, use the hashtag SketchQuest. Let's see what today's quest is, shall we? Today's quest giver is none other than VTuber artist extraordinaire J.L.P. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Always, it's a pleasure. What quest are we doing today?
So today I'm going to be showing you how to draw noses in more of a simple way. I know noses are very complex, so hopefully we can break them down to make them easier.
I always just do like a little squiggle and leave it.
I think that's fine, especially for an anime style, but I think sometimes learning how to draw a full nose can help with the proportions a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So last time we kind of looked at this face, and we're going to just go over it again quickly. So a good rule of thumb where the nose should go, the nose at the bottom should line up with the bottom of the ear and should be on 1/3 of the face, roughly. A good indication of where a nose should be is the inner corner of the eyes tend to line up with the outer part of the nose here. So that should be a rough guide. It's not going to be the case for everyone, but it's just if you're struggling with the proportions, it's a good place to kind of look at. So today we're going to talk about drawing more realistic noses. I think anime noses are totally valid. But we often struggle drawing a realistic nose, so I'm just going to go over an easier way to be able to draw that today. So you want to draw 3 circles like this and make the one in the middle bigger. Yeah, like that. And this bit's going to look a bit more complex, but it really just helps me with the shading. You can just start drawing like the nose details from here. Like some people prefer to just start going in like this. However, I think it often doesn't really show us where the nose should really be on the face.
Mm-hmm.
So a way I do it is I will draw this kind of like pyramid sort of shape on top. It's more of a diamond kind of shape, an extended diamond. And that just helps give some structure to the actual nose. Because then we can tell where the middle of the nose should be and where the under part, where the shading should be here.
Mine's a bit wonky.
It's fine. It just gives a really good baseline, so it doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people have lopsided noses, so it's totally fine.
Your nose is perfectly valid.
And then we can make that a lower opacity and start drawing the nose details on top. I would recommend starting with the base of the nose. So this part here, just to show where the outline of the nose will be. And you want to include the nostrils here and here. Yeah, and then from there we can show with the circles where the rounded outside parts of the nose should be. And then we can also see here that there's like a little ball in the center. This part often catches the light on your nose, So you'll see like a lot of artists draw like a little highlight on the nose here, and it's usually this little ball part. And then from there we can kind of tell that the eyes are going to be here, so we can draw in like where the eye sockets will be. And I just like to include the Cupid's bow. That's just a personal taste.
I drew a nose. That was really easy.
Yeah, it looks really good. I really like it. And then from there, we can actually start looking at shading the nose. So we can see with our guideline on top that the part under here will usually be darker. We want to make the nostrils the darkest part, and we can also shade in the triangle here that we've created. You can see this really helps to just create some depth with our noses. Of course, this isn't going to be right for every nose because the shading will change depending on the angle, but it's a really good starting point. Yeah, I think you did a really good job. If you want to be able to add a bit more depth to it, you can always look into adding some highlights as well. Let me just create this layer, and then I'll make the layer above darker to kind of show where the highlight should be. Like so. Then we can create a light layer here. So we can see on this nose part that there's like the circle here. So this should be lighter. And I like to do the nostrils slightly lighter as well. It's just my personal taste. You don't have to, but I think it often makes it stand out a bit more. We can also make the bridge of the nose lighter as well. And this is just a trick I learned from an artist, but I've started using it in my own pieces, and I think it really makes them stand out, is on the outside of the nostrils here, I tend to make these parts lighter as well. And if you're doing real stylized work, it looks really, really nice, especially if you blend them out really well. I always love how the hard brush looks on your work. It makes it look so nice and like cartoony. I like it.
I don't think I can do anything other than cartoony. Like realism is my downfall.
That's totally fine. I started with cartoony as well. Often, sometimes you have to be able to work with like the basic shapes to be able to refine them into a bit more detailed work. So don't worry if you can't do detailed work at first. It's kind of not the most realistic expectation of yourself, and a lot of beginners' work will start to look cartoony. Another thing I tend to do is just put a tiny little highlight at the end of the nose. This one's quite dramatic, so I probably would tone it down a bit. And it just helps make it stand out a bit more and add a little bit of depth. And then we can see we've created a pretty good nose. This also should be able to work for a side view as well. So we can do it again with a side view. So drawing the 3 circles, we're going to draw the diamond again. But this time we'll do it at a 3/4 angle.
Okay, so it's like from there.
So I'd suggest when drawing the triangle, try and make this part as like sort of upright as you can. Obviously it's going to have a slight tilt to it, but I know when I first drew it I kind of drew it all the way up here, and I guess that works for a very side profile, but quite difficult when you've got to line it up with the circles. But it does give us a rough base to be able to work from.
No. There we go. How about that?
No, that works. You got it. I know it looks funny, but it's a case of trusting the process. So then we can lower the opacity and start drawing the nose on top. Again, we're going to start with the base of the nose. Down here. At the bottom of the circle. Then we can go around the circles again. And then we can follow this line that we've made with the diamond. And that will give us our kind of nose bridge. And then if we want, we can add a Cupid's bow in again. It's fully up to you. I just like Cupid's bows. Like that. And again, we can use the diamond to be able to show where our shading will be. So we can see here the under part of the diamond again has more shading here. And we can also add a little shading at the side of the nose because it will be a cast shadow from if the light is coming this way. Because the nose will create a shadow there. Again, I will try and add a darker background. And then I'll see if I can add some lighter shading again. So I can use our guide. We can see there's going to be some light here on the circle. There's going to be some light up the nose bridge. Here. Then we're going to have some light around the nostrils around here as well. And then if we take the guide away, we've got a pretty good looking nose.
It's trying.
No, I think you've done a really good job. Noses are like really, really hard to do.
You say that, but we've still got hands to do, so.
Yeah, hands are hard to do as well. I will admit. Also, ears can be quite hard.
Oh gosh, ears.
So, if you're ever struggling with noses, it's completely fine. You're not alone.
It's the blending out I'm still not good at.
You'll get there. I think you're doing a really great job. It's really important to be able to like experiment with all the brushes. So it's really great to see that you're experimenting with the blending and seeing which ones work for you.
I'm trying.
For these, I've just been using the hard brush for our more defined lines, and then I just go in with the soft brush, which is the airbrush. I've just been using this
soft brush.
Yeah. Soft brush for some people, but not for others, and that's fine. I think the soft brush tends to be better for mainly shading, because you don't want to be creating like hard edges with a soft brush. Otherwise, your form tends to get lost pretty easily in your pieces.
Oh yeah, soft brush as well.
But, as you were saying before, I do think all ways of drawing noses are valid. So we can look down at the breakdown of a nose here. So this is kind of the shape that we've been drawing here, this one. But you can also break that down to be a little more kind of cartoony. You might see a lot of artists tend to draw things in a triangle form, or using it like the nose as a highlight. And some people just do a line like in the anime type, and that's completely fine as well. You should be able to experiment with noses, try out all these different styles, and just feel most comfortable drawing the one you want to draw and what you think looks best in your artwork. So you can see on Mashi's screen that we've got a few different nose examples here. There's lots of different ways to draw noses because there's lots of different types of noses. And all shapes of noses are really cool, and it's just a really great way to experiment with your art. You can also take this example that we've been doing and see if you can try and make different shaped noses from it. So I think we can look at maybe the nose with the slight bump in the bridge. You can still be able to use this method to create that kind of nose. So you can follow the nose bridge and then you can acknowledge there's a slight bump in it, like so, and then we can pull it down. So this nose has like very sharp features, so we can make the nose bridge here a bit more sharper. We can make the nostrils a bit lower. We can really push the sharp edges. Here like that. So that would be a way that we could create a sharper nose feature. Similarly, we could also create rounder noses as well. So a very common nose style in cartoons tends to be like the button nose. So one way we can do that is by following this line we've created, making the nostrils a little smaller and really emphasizing the shape here to create this kind of button nose effect. Button noses tend to have a smaller nose bridge, like so, and that's how we might be able to create a rounder shaped nose. So our quest for today is to try and explore different nose shapes, try out all the different styles and see what you're most comfortable with, and try using the diamond technique that we've shown today to see if it helps improve how you draw noses.
We'll put a link to this reference below, and remember to use the hashtag SketchQuest so we can see all your creations. We're really excited to see what you come up with. Thank you very much for joining us again, JLP.
Thank you for having me.
Remember to follow her on all the social medias and drop a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed SketchQuest today. Until then, we'll be back next time. See you later, taters. Bye.